My name is Jessie Wilson, and I've been a life support team member since 2024. We like to tell ourselves we are not equipped. I remember the very first one I did was a food collection. And I'm thinking, gosh, if somebody wants to talk about something or somebody wants to pray, what am I going to contribute? Holy Spirit will supply the words, He'll supply the prayer, He'll supply the presence. You just have to say yes and do it. And then if you think that you're too busy, the things that you can volunteer for and be a part of, one, are a variety of times of day, days of the week, and two, you guys don't ask for 30 hours a week, or you ask to attempt to volunteer at least twice a month. And I promise you'll find yourself saying you can do a whole lot more than twice a month once you start going and getting to know everybody. I can't think of one volunteer event I haven't left just excited to share what happened that day. I mean, the day we were at the church and making funny videos and making fun of ourselves, some of it's just within us being silly and having fun, or talking through real life things, and some it's being silly and fun and talking through real life with people as they walk up. I personally find myself hungry for it sometimes. And then at times the offer to pray for listeners. You have time in your calendar for it, and you have the ability because God shows up. I wasn't raised in church. My dad planted seeds along the way. My mom always resisted church. So it was this weird dynamic. I always had a pull without really having any seeds planted. I know my dad always prayed. I know my grandmother always prayed. I would cling to friends who went to church. Was God always there? Yes. Was my faith always the same? No. I think when you feel like you hit a bottom, and I think I was at a bottom with my health and a terrible marriage. And I think we have a choice when we get to that bottom. We can go the way the world says to go, or we can rely on God. And I didn't know how to rely on God. I just knew that as soon as I had my girls, I made it a point to go to church. I bounced through it. I fumbled through it. I just kept going. And honestly, I would say that time in my life is when I really, actually, truly started getting to know God. When I was talking with you about becoming an LST member, one of the things I told you is I like to make people feel seen. I think for the longest time it was kids. As I have grown, honestly, really since that time, it's been more than just kids that I want to take them by the shoulders and look in their eyes. Not literally, but sometimes we do. But I just want them to feel seen, even if it's just for 3 seconds. Maybe that is a seed they will take later and say, this person looked me in the eyes and heard me and felt me, and that will make me emotional. I'm thinking about the prison because there were multiple subjects, and each woman that walked up to me was absolutely God appointed. A couple of them, I think all they needed was to just talk and then have a prayer. One of the ladies, after I prayed for her, we didn't really talk a whole lot. She just poured her heart out and her story and where she was at. She just scattered all these different things in there. And sometimes we feel like we have to have something to say. For some reason, I just didn't have anything coming to me. I asked her if we could pray. And when I prayed is when it all came out. And it wasn't about me. When we were done, she said, "You prayed about things that I didn't even know I needed to pray about." It was interesting because she had just told me all of those things. I actually wrestled with that for a while afterwards, because she said that she didn't think that she could pray about certain things because she'd created those issues. Just kind of a different way of saying I'm not worthy and God's not going to show up for me. He'll show up for everybody else, but He's not going to show up for me. I got so much out of that day. That day absolutely changed my life.